Deputy Dean of Student Affairs and Alumni of the Faculty of Science and Technology, Dr. Mutada Arif bin Sahbuddin, the advisor of the Hackathon workshop, students, as well as the audience present this morning. For your information, this program is organized by the second year students from Information Security and Assurance Program, Faculty of Science and Technology, USIM. My name is Nur Alia Shafira binti Khairul Anwar, and on behalf of the Aturkreatif 2020 committee, I would like to welcome all of you to the Hackathon workshop. A big appreciation is expressed to the audience for taking the time to participate in this Hackathon workshop. Before we begin, I would like to invite Muhammad Irham Zahin to lead the recitation of Dua. With all due respect, please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Al-Fatihah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم إنك خلاق العظيم، إنك سميع عليم، إنك غفور رحيم، إنك رب العرش العظيم. O Allah, all praise is due to you. You are the one who deserves all the praise. You are the one who deserves all thanks. You own sovereignty over all administrations. In your hand are all goodness. To you all matters return. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. اللهم يا كريم يا رحيم, bestow upon us your mercy and blessings for the Faculty of Science and Technology Hackathon Workshop 2022 held today. In conjunction with this ceremony, we ask for your protection and care. Grant us prosperity and happiness. Indeed, we gather on this day because of you and bless this ceremony from beginning to end. Ya Zal Jalali wal Ikram. We also seek protection from you from all things that could tarnish our program and from all things that distract us from obeying you. To you alone we leave all our affairs. ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin, Amin, Ya Rab. Thank you, Irham, for the prayer recitals just now. To all participants, let me first explain the agenda of the Hackathon workshop. For your information, today's program is divided into two slots, which will be presented by these two speakers. For the first slot, it starts at 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Our first speaker will give explanation about Hackathon overview and describe the rubrics and conditions of Hackathon competition. After that, we will rest for 15 minutes and play Kahoot. Then continue with the second slot, starting at 10:15 a.m. until 10:45 a.m. In the second slot, our next speaker will be sharing their experience and knowledge of Hackathon competition. Ladies and gentlemen, now let me share about Hackathon competition. For Hackathon competition, we will be focusing on 5 things, which are education, cyber risk in online learning, economy, cyber threats of e-commerce, authentication and accountability, social media information and platform, health, mental health care. Without wasting time, let us start with the first slot. Therefore, I hand over the ceremony to Professor Dr. Sakinah Ali Pitchay, Deputy Dean of Student Affairs and Alumni of the Faculty of Science and Technology, USIM. Please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So can you hear my voice? Okay, I'll take a few seconds to set up. Okay, right. So you can see my camera too, right?
Yes, Doctor.
So it seems like we are going to start 10 minutes earlier, so that's why I'll a bit kurang kabut sikit sebab baru hantar kereta servis. Okay, take 1 minute, hold on. Okay, let me back to the slide. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi and very good morning everyone. So salam sejahtera juga. Do we have any participants from outside? Can you raise your hand using the team? Or you can just use your voice. If you don't know how to react, maybe some of from other university you can react using the Teams. I'm not sure. Because I just want to know, is there any participant from outside? Because just now I heard that we have participant from outside. Okay, some managed to raise hand, and I also saw some other names, and no, I think it's quite unique. Okay, thank you very much for those attending late. So good job also to the organizer that you managed to get participants from outside university. So this is actually first time that we are opening to the outside from USIM for this workshop, even though we have conducted it twice for the hackathon. So you can see on the slide, my slide will be focused on the how to win a hackathon page and forming a team. So basically you could see on the right side, you can see your mind, your brain actually. Okay, you can see all the logics that you learn, right? You learn the calculus, the linear algebra, but sometimes you still don't know. How can I use or apply this mathematics in some creative thinking in some of the applications? So that's why we need the creativity idea. We need to attend the workshop, because when you attend the class, normally you learn the theory. There is not enough time to learn on the creative thinking part. Or sometimes you have the creative thinking part, but sometimes you can't really relate, because the creative thinking teacher is also sometimes described on the theory part. Okay, right, all right. Oh, sorry, this is not. I thought this is my sharing. So the next slide, please. Because I want to see the chat box, that's why I asked the organizer to share on behalf of me. So you can see the first two slides is actually on my achievement. Okay, I've been active in the innovations a lot since. I'm not so sure whether is it my screen only, the screen cannot be seen. Okay, now better. All right. If you have trouble to share, let me know. I can share by myself as well. Okay, so you could see last year, actually this year, early this year, I was awarded for the Anugerah Tokoh Inovasi and Pementoran from the faculty itself, because I achieved a lot of achievements last year, 2022, and I have actually actively since 2014. Okay, I start with my colleagues, and then after that, I continue monitoring my students, encourage my FYP students. Okay, so for those under me, sometimes I know you have to be like, whether you like it or not, you have to try it, because that is how the way student works. Okay, you have to enforce sometimes, because you don't realize the good opportunity. You have the skills, but you don't want to force yourself. Okay, many students, they just want to relax. They just want to study, focus, pass exam, that's all. I get dean list, who cares about other competitions? Okay, this is not the same time like our time. because these generations, we are becoming like Malaysian producers lots of degrees. So you have to be outstanding in your resume as well. You can only rely on your academics achievement. Okay. Sorry, try to mute some. Okay, these are all list of achievements. So the latest one on the Malaysia Technology Expo, bronze medal. So I think the main important thing when you enter any competitions, you need to know the theme, the category. So each of the competition here is actually, they reflects on the category. Sometimes why I cannot manage to get the goal, sometimes they have very high requirement that I cannot achieve. Okay, so that's why you need to know the rubrics of the competition. Okay, I'm not going to read one by one. So the next slide, can you go to the next slide? Okay, so this is still on the achievements. Okay, from 2000, continue from 2022 until 2014. Okay, all right. So I also have be as a mentor and also involved in some of the innovations. So you can see some of the titles. Okay, it's not that hard actually. You just need to put your effort and also your time and energy. Okay, next slide. Okay, what is hackathon? When other people from outside computer science here, they probably don't want to enter this workshop or competition because they heard the word hack. So they might think hacking. Right. I think even the computer science students also, the first time when you heard, you think that it is about hacking. Okay, hacking is a little bit different. It's not ethical hacking. So hacking is a creative problem solving. It does not have to involve the technology. So what do you do in the hackathon? You team up, you brainstorm with your team members, and then you try to hack it. How? And then you prepare the pitch and also the presentations. So you have like some definition here. They said hackathon also known as a hack day, okay, because they normally in the real life F2F competition, before this when I bring the students, we have the hackathon like 24 hours or 48 hours where you have to stay at the same place. Okay, sometimes until 12 a.m. we are still in that place. Okay, the students are open to go back to their accommodation and then continue back. They cannot do at home. So that's how the hackathon works before this, 24 hours, 48 hours. But nowadays, because due to pandemic, everything has changed. Everything now is going to be online, but they still limit on the minutes. Okay, some hackathon has the different criteria. Either they just want you to have the pitching. Some hackathons requirements, they ask you for the prototype as well. And some wants the end product. So whatever that majority that I won in my innovation competition is actually I do have the end product. Not only so your basic here is not the end product. You just propose the idea. Okay, next slide. Okay, what is the goals and fields? Okay, you to try to solve the challenges over the course of the event and create a fully functioning usable software or hardware product by the end of the event. But sometimes in the real competitions, it does not mean all the members are from computer science. It could be like a diversity of different fields. Okay, it could be the computer science, it could be some of the social arts students also. Okay, it doesn't matter. Sometimes they could have a better idea on the solutions, but they don't know how to develop it. So that's the purpose that we are having in the same group. Okay, combinations. Examples of the field team, some EdTech. So Ed is education, FinTech, financial technology, cyberbullying, cybersecurity, consumer tech, environment tech. So these are all the generals or common field team for the competition. Okay, next. Okay, the main ingredients. What do you need in the poster or in the presentations? It depends on the competition. Sometimes they ask you for the poster, sometimes they ask you slides within some, they give you some range, or they don't give the specific maximum range, but they give the maximum of a minute to present or to pitch it. So when I bring my students, so the minimum time that we got actually 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Okay. A few months work, we have to compress in 3 minutes. Imagine that we have to compress in 3 minutes how we want to deliver in front of the judges and convey them, okay, convince them that your product is unique. So the proper solution here with the uniqueness. So I think many people nowadays, they can just simply propose, but they don't compare the existing works. So that is the lack. When you do the FYP, it's the same thing. Okay, the chapter 2 is on the literature review. You have to do the comparisons. What is the uniqueness? What is the novelty? What is the practicality? What is the value added? Okay, and then of course, when you do the comparison, you need the references. So the references must be a valid reference, which one that you refer. When you say this is not unique, when you put some claim or statement, you need to refer a good citation. So that's why references is important, but don't put too much. Okay, for the hackathon, I think 2 or 3 is enough for references. Okay, so hackathon is more about learning and not winning. If you want to improve, you will win. But if you focus to win, sometimes you don't win. Okay, don't put high hopes, but put the goals to create something crazy idea. Okay, sometimes the crazy idea becomes the reality. Okay, next slide. So let me introduce on the objective of the hackathon competition. So this time we open to outside university as well. So we have like some, I think, token of prize, cash prize that we will give to the number 1, 2, and 3, I think. So provide a platform for students to produce creative innovations for the recent problems encountered. So we open to all the university students. I think diploma or degree also doesn't matter as long you are university students, registered university students. And these are the 5 things for this year. So last year, I think we have like 2 probably. I don't remember. So this year we have 5 things focusing on the educations. So sometimes the themes will be referring on the recent issue. So the recent issue here, cyber risks in online learning. I think you can also combine with the SRM students or the financial math students. Probably they know a lot on the cyber risk. Okay, risk assessment is very important nowadays. Okay, even in the career prospect, they want a lot on the risk assessment. So don't think risk is not important, because in real life, when you are doing in some works also, you need to think about the risk. Everything that you decide, you need to think also about the risk, or you can also use the SWOT. Okay. And then the next theme on the economy, cyber threats of e-commerce. Okay. Third, themes, authentication and accountability. So we'll be focused on the social media information and platforms. So these are very, very general themes. You create the problem statements that you have heard a lot on the social media and so on. And then number 4, on the cybersecurity, security threats in AI and machine learning. I think this is very common. Okay, and also number 5 is not related on the security, health. Okay, I think health is very significant issue during this pandemic, because everyone is actually doing at home alone. So sometimes mental health care issue is very important. So you can also raise some problem statement and how to solve it and propose a solution. Okay, next slide. Okay, details on the poster. This is just orang kata, this is just a guideline. Okay, if you want to have more, it's okay, but as long you can present in 5 minutes. I think for this our competition, we give you extra time, another 2 minutes. So in 5 minutes, in the poster you should have the title, the author's name, and also the affiliations, which university you are from, so the affiliations, and abstract. I don't want also to set the maximum or minimum abstract. I want you to be more creative. It's up to you how you want to write it. Your abstract can be 2 or 3 sentences, depends on you. The problem statements or the issue, sometimes we call the matters, proposed idea. So the proposed idea must have the solution, must have the value added, the usefulness and practicality. Okay. Also share some poster tips. Okay. It should be readable from a distance. So if you see my slides, I try always to maximize the space. I always try to enlarge the font size. I know when I reading the slides from the students, they have lots of space and they use the small font size. Okay, it's very irritating that we have to zoom it with our own eyes. You don't, and even you don't try to zoom it. So I think this is very important. If you don't manage this, you will sometimes annoy the jury because you're using the very small font size. Okay, even though your content might be good, and then create some contrast, the uniqueness. Okay, consider the location. So the location here sometimes could be face-to-face, but here in your case is the online location. So when it's online, we're going to think about on the font size. Don't make it too small and make it stand out. Don't read from the slides. Okay, your slides on the poster, you should have like very brief sentences and you able to elaborate also briefly because you have the limitation of time to pitching. It's like the same job like for the sales marketing. When they want to do to promote, they are given like 1 minute to tell the reader or to convince the user why you need to buy my product. You don't give their time until 1 minute. They have just convinced like 30 seconds sometimes. Okay, so that's the same thing. It works for the pitching. Use a big image. It up to you how you want to use. Make a good use of space. Explore typography. So typography is the text with the curly stars and so on. Refer to competition rubrics. Okay, that is very important. When you want to achieve any competitions, you must know the rubrics. What are the criteria they will be measured on? The same thing how you want to score in your study. The same thing when you want to score the FYP, you check on the evaluation rubrics. So it's very transparent actually how you want to win. So next slide. So this is the regulations. I'm not going to read one by one because we have it on the poster, or you can also ask the organizer later on. But I just want to highlight the last sentences. If you manage to implement, not to implement, to propose some likely and unlikely concepts, it will be like bonus marks. And if you have the prototype, also will be good advantage. Okay, but doesn't mean for those that don't have it, your works is not good. Sometimes your proposed solution is much more better because you have the novelty. Okay, next. So these are the pitching presentation rubric, okay, for the hackathon competition later on. So the concept, okay, the relevance of participant project, presentation. So the presentation must be within 5 to 7 minutes only. Clear, smooth, interesting, creative, and easy to understand. And design idea must be applicable, attractive, uniqueness of the project. And you propose the solution. How you want to propose, it depends. Okay, next. How to form your team? Okay, always form team with people having diverse set of skills which are required for the hackathon, for the hackathons, so that you can widen the scope and the solutions. If all of you are the programmer, for example, sometimes you might think the same. So probably your team members could be, one is very good in presentations, one is very good in design the prototype. Okay? Because I know everyone not born to be a good communicator. Okay? And sometimes people have to read from the scripts. But it takes time. If you join lots of competitions, later on you build up your confidence. I think the same way with me. Okay, the first time when I try to talk, I think I have to do lots of mock presentations. So after several times, you will gain lots of experience and you don't need the script anymore. Okay, your idea will just come, and sometimes you don't have enough time because you have lots of things to talk. Okay, next slide. How to form your team? Okay, form teams with people having different skill set. Just like I mentioned, understand the problem that you propose. Okay, that is a very important thing. If you don't understand the problem, sometimes when the students raise the topic they want to do, they don't come up with the problems. What is the problem or the issue that you want to solve? Okay. Domain expertise if required. Okay, brainwash, unique selling point. Okay, you need to find the uniqueness of your proposed solution. Remember, it is a team effort. make the plan. Don't try to accomplish everything. Always ask or seek for help. Take the feedback regularly. Okay, test your project regularly, and presentations does matter. So finally, it's about learning and not about winning. Okay, next. How to win a hackathon pitch? Okay, how long is the pitch? So you need to know the rules. Depends on the competitions. You need to know your audience. Who is your the jury? Is it from the industry? Is it the academicians? Sometimes the jury could be a different fields from you. So when they are from the different fields, you need to explain in a simple way that they would, even not a computer science background can understand it. Okay, I think someone need to admit. Okay, on my slide, I can see some person is still, okay, right. Make every second counts. Okay, a regular pitch length is 3 minutes. So this is the one I say just when I did mentoring with my students, we do a lot of mock presentations. We do last time it was face to face. So we gather the students. I also invite one or two lecturers to give to get some their feedback. Sometimes my feedback is different, so we get another feedbacks. Okay, is there a Q&A session? So if yes, here are 6 tips for preparing. So the Q&A session is also very important. Okay, next one, how do I create my story? Do not open PowerPoint. Okay, this is actually based on some of the tips here. So you can click on this YouTube pitch tricks, how to prepare. Okay, what content should be in the pitch? Okay, in the pitching, so check the rules. It depends on the competition that you join. Problem solution, what is unique, implementation, viability, okay, and also who is the stakeholder of the hackathon. Okay, how can I grab the attention? Open powerfully. So I think the first two sentences when you start your pitching, that is very important. Sometimes it's like going to be like a debate or pedato. Okay, you need to use like a catchy words to attract the jury. If you just go solely, okay, my name, this blah blah, you don't need to explain who is your team members. We don't have time in 3 minutes. Okay, sometimes students when you do presentations, they even read the metric number. You don't need to know your metric number. Just give your names and straightforward. The first 20 seconds buy the attention. So this is also another YouTube link. You can also click. I will share. You can get these slides later on from the organizer. I already gave it to them. Okay, how much detail? The power of 3. So if someone said to you, I've got a brilliant product and I want to tell you 11 things about it, how about you feel? Okay, so your brain would say, oh no. However, if you say, there are many things I could tell you about this, but there are 3 things I want you to remember. So here the first, you give the audience a clear signal that you have done the work to simplify the story. Don't give too much points, but just attract the uniqueness. Okay, next slide. How to win a hackathon pitch? So just like I mentioned just now, always know the rules and rubrics. Different hackathon, different innovation has a different rules. Okay, innovation competition is a little bit different because you need the end product. The hackathons also vary. It depends also to the organizer. Sometimes they want end product, sometimes they just want the pitching idea. Okay, know the audience. Like I mentioned just now, you need to know whether is it academician, is it the industry. So if sometimes you don't know the real jury, which company that is okay, but you need to able to answer them. While you frame your pitch, tricks to creating a good demo. Speak deliberately and confidently. Test and check the AV equipment so that is actually the audio. Okay, if you are doing the face-to-face, practice, 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 and get a mentor. Okay, if you don't have any mentor, you can just simply ask any lecturer that is active on this. I think I receive a lot sometimes from the students who wants just start. it's okay. You can just contact me. I will try to review. And do not panic and adapt. If you do a lot of mock presentation, then you will not panic. Okay, next slide. So the Q&A tips. Okay, write down the questions you don't want to be asked. Okay, sometimes when I know everyone will be frightening, you will have some questions that you expecting from the jury, but you want to avoid it. But whether you like it or not, you still have to face it. So you think about it and then you discuss the answer with your friends and your mentor first. So who knows, you're able to answer it later on. Answer weaknesses as learning possibilities. Okay, sometimes you have to admit your weaknesses when the jury point it out, but take it positively and try to improve it. Write down the questions you do want to be asked. Okay, listen to the last word of the question. Last word, I think it's not the word. Last word. Okay, take a moment before you answer. Okay, take a deep breath and try to answer. And finally, never argue with the jury. Okay, right, next slide. Okay, I'll give you some examples of cool hackathon ideas. For example, some EdTech hackathon ideas. Share the learning experiences, raise the classroom behavior issues in real time, cause and use the finder. Okay, smart tutor. If you find in the apps, there are lots of these apps that aid the college students. Okay, next. Okay, on the health tech. So you have also one idea on the one team on the healthcare. So here is data processing for hospitals, utilizing the AI, IoT, visual health assistant, remote patient examination, health technology in rural areas. I think rural areas is very important. Okay, you have to something that you need to cater. Remember, during the pandemic, there is an issue on the education learning where the students have to climb the tree, or whether climb the tree or just sit under the tree to get the internet connections. So the same things like the issue how you want to take care the education's learning, online learning in the rural areas, but this one in the health tech. Okay, GPS monitoring for ambulances. Okay, so now we have the COVID issue last time. Okay, the tracking issue, improve medical and emergency communication. Okay, next slide. Okay, examples on the consumer tech hackathon ideas on the ultimate homes and offices. This one is no longer unique. Okay, you could see that Google's have developed this a lot. You could also see this in some Korean drama or in English drama as well. They managed to do the ultimate homes and offices, and also they can just simply turn on the volume so the speaker will turn on. Okay, so I think you have watched a lot of this. Autonomous drone. So we heard about this in future, our food will be delivered through drone. So I think this one also not really unique, but we haven't really see this in practical. I think people are still trying how to deliver it, to deliver the food without splitting it. Okay, truly predictive keyboard. Okay, so on, right, next slide. Okay, this one also not really unique, but we have known this a long time ago. But still not many car have used this. Google self-driving car, or we know about the Tesla as well. Okay, find the parking spots. So I think the parking spots also, we also have, like for example, when you open from the mobile applications, you can reserve early. Sometimes when you go to IOI, it's very hard to find the good spot for the parking. So you can reserve it early. Okay, pedestrian safety, the vehicle maintenance app using the AR. Okay, AR is augmented reality. Okay, next. Okay, in the financial tech or fintech hackathon ideas subscription management solution, calculate the credit score, cash flow management. Okay, next. On the real tech hackathon ideas, oh sorry, not retail. Okay, digital shopping performance, AR and VR. So sometimes when you just put your phone and scan, you will get some info, the price and so on, the ingredients, for example. So this one is like an AR. Okay, you can see like more 3D images. This one is AR. Okay, product QR codes and so on. Next. Okay, examples of hackathon ideas. Okay, so because this is not a PowerPoint, when I do these slides, I'm using the PowerPoint. So that's why when I have the PowerPoint, I can click next slide. We will see cook's recipe apple, for example. Sorry, you can see this because it is PDF, but you can actually Google on this. Intuitive, alarm, and then number 3, design and interior design. On the design home, okay, there are lots. Security control, for example, Wi-Fi control alarm. Okay, when you have all this, you need to tell the jury what is the uniqueness, because nowadays I think there are lots of these ideas. Okay. Next, I think this one will be the last one, is it? Okay, finally we reach the end slide. So challenge yourself is the only path which leads to growth, okay, said the Morgan Freeman. And another quote by the Steve Jobs, innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity and not a threat. So I end my talk today. And thank you everyone for listening. If you have any questions, I think we have like another 8 minutes. I open for Q&A session. At first, when I saw the tentative 30 minutes is going to be short, but I think for me it's okay because we have done this hackathon a lot. We have to, we need to talk in 5 minutes. So 30 minutes, I think is very much long for me, okay, compared to 3 and 5 minutes that we have to talk. So is there any questions, please ask. So this is your opportunity. Oh, we have the Padlet. So probably Nurul Huda, can you check on the Padlet? Is there any question on the Padlet? Oh, I saw some questions. Can I present in Malay language? Okay, the rules actually is in English. Okay, so you have to follow the rules. Many hackathons actually they conducted also in English, and they are now opening also lots for internationals, also in English. So I think it's good for you to practice in English. If you think your English is not good, it's okay. This is the time for you to polish. Okay. Don't worry, because based on my FYP experience, now she just graduated last year. So if you know your senior ISA 13, Nur Amira, so she was like a very panic student, always nervous. She don't have this kind of confidence. So I push her during her first year, and she has good academic results, can do a lot of, but like on the presentations. So I start to polish her, and we gave her to try on some competitions by doing a lot of mock pitching, and she managed it. So we come up as the first place actually. Okay, so if you think you are not a good communicator, so give it a try first. Don't just always think, I'm not a good person, I cannot do this and that. Don't give excuses before you try. Okay. I know that many students always rely to the students that always can explain in a good presentations. So this is opportunity that we create a platform for the students, especially the USIM students, for you to polish your presentations and able to present it in a short way. Okay, is there any questions that you want to ask? You can ask now. You have another 5 more minutes. If no, I pass to the MC. Thank you very much. Okay, Fira, your mic is mute.
So is there any other questions from the participants before we move on to our next agenda? We'll wait a couple more minutes for any other questions from the participants. Yes? No? Okay. I'm going to assume that there will be no further questions for now. Okay. So we would continue the Q&A session at another slot. There will be another Q&A session at the end of the second slot. Okay. Alhamdulillah, we have already completed our first slot. Thank you, Dr. Sakinah. It was a very interesting and helpful sharing indeed. I am pretty sure that all of us in this workshop gained a lot of knowledge about everything you explained just now. We will now take a short break for 15 minutes. Attendees are expected not to leave the meeting as the second slot will take place around 10:15 a.m. So participants, you can join the Kahoot contest while we wait for the second slot. Okay. All right. Thank you again, Dr. Sakinah, for the very interesting sharing just now. It was very informative.
Alright. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. To fill the void left by our break time, we'll do a quick activity that will make us feel more inspired to listen to the upcoming slot and will help recharge and focus our minds for the next slot. My name is Muhammad Zarif bin Muhammad Zarul Hasni and I will lead the part of our current activity, which is the Kahoot game. Alright, guys, we will wait for 5 minutes to start Kahoot, and according to the times, we will start at 10:05. Ready, everyone?
Ready.
Alright, guys, the clock is already showing 10:05. As well, without wasting any time, let's start the Kahoot game. Let's go. Wow, everybody is chasing the score, but please choose wisely, guys. Let's go for the next question. All right, two more questions. Wow, according to the place, Lila sit the first place. Give him a round of applause from your leg. Congratulations, Lila. All right, finish. Congratulations to those who can answer a lot of questions right, and those who can answer a lot wrong also, because you have done your best for this morning. That's all from me, and I will pass to MC to continue our program this morning. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, Zarif, for hosting the Kahoot session just now. Now, we continue to the next slide. I would like to invite our next speaker, Dr. Anwar Nazrele, to share his experience and knowledge in the Hackathon competition. All right. So, for information of participants, our Dr. Anwar Nazrele has 10 years experience in the industry, and Dr. Anwar is the winner of multiple awards, including 2 silver awards during the Chapter 2017. And in 2019, Dr. Anwar received a gold award and the winner of Open Data Challenge 2021 with $11,000 cash prize. And not only that, but Dr. Anwar is also the founder of mohirdev.uz, education startup in Uzbekistan, which raised $500,000 for the investment itself in the seed round. So with all due respect, please welcome Dr. Anwar Nazrele.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum and good morning, everyone. I hope my voice is clear. Can I share my screen? Is there a share option? One second. Okay. One second. I'm trying to share the screen, but the app is asking me to reopen the MS Teams. I don't know why, so I have to rejoin the meeting. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. Let me share again. I'm not sure. Can you see my screen now?
Not.
Not yet. Huh? Wait, I'll try again. Okay, how about now? Can you see the screen?
We still cannot see your feed screen and your video camera.
Oh, it says sharing here. Okay.
Dr. Anwar, if you are unable to share, I could ask the committee to do the sharing for you, perhaps?
Okay, so usually, you know, I have some animations and so on, but I don't know why I already opened the share. Okay, one more time. Let's try. Screen. How about now? So, can you see the screen or not? No.
It's black.
Okay, so let me send you the files then. So who should I WhatsApp? 1 second.
Alright, you could
Okay, 1 second, I'm sending. Sorry about that.
no worries, Doctor.
Okay, 1 second. You see, I prepared the presentation about perfect presentation, and my presentation already sucked. So give me some time. Huh?
No worries, Doctor.
And by the way, just FYI, you know, whenever you go to some competition, this always happens. Okay, whenever you go to the presentation, you have the perfect working product, and suddenly in front of jury, everything stops working. So this is, you know, the very common issue. So whenever you face this, you know, be ready to this. You see, I prepare everything, and suddenly nothing is working. So let me 1 second. I will send you. Hi.
Doctor.
Yes.
I think you can retry share the screen again.
Again.
Yes.
1 second. Okay. How about now?
Yes, Doctor, we can see your screen now.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Good. So you can see the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start then. So today my topic will be how to bring your idea just bring your idea to life without any experience and without any coding, because as you know, whenever we go to hackathon, the hackathon is about coding, right? So we have to prepare something, we have to show some product, and there should be at least some prototype, or maybe at least some minimum viable product. So this is the issue, and a lot of people get afraid of this, and they don't want to join the hackathons because they think, yeah, it's difficult or it takes time and so on. So today, let me start first introducing myself. So I'm Dr. Anwar. I'm senior fellow in ISA. My expertise in wireless communication, IoT, machine learning, and AI. I have PhD in information communication engineering. I have multiple patents, awards, IPs, and so on. But I want to start with latest one. So as you mentioned, recently I was winner of it was our team. So it was team effort. So our team won the Open Data Challenge Hackathon. So, and then after that, we participate in the Financial Times Seed Stars competition. So this is global competition, happens every year. And we reached the finals. So there were around 4,500 teams. So only 5 teams were selected for the finals in the education sector. We didn't win the competition, but we got a lot of freebies. So freebies means for your idea, for your startup, or for the product that you're building, they will give you the free access to different online services, such as, for example, we got the $10,000 Amazon server for free. So this one is a lot, actually, 10,000. If you're a startup, you can use this for years. We got, for example, the free access to Canva, or any famous online platform that you can mention, you get this. So we got around 80,000 different freebies. And then the latest one is this startup that we presented during these finals. We managed to actually present to another investors, and we raised the $500 in a seed round. And what am I talking about this? It's not just about the brag or just to show, who am I? No. The idea is all of this happened within the span of the 1 month. Okay, so the hackathon happened December 6th. Seed Star competition happened December 13, and December 31, we got our first investment. And at the beginning of December, when we're doing this presentation, we have no idea about what we were waiting, we didn't have any idea what to expect, okay? And this 500,000, it was like, it was like dream, because when we prepare for the hackathon, you never dream about the investment, because you think about, yeah, this is just a one-time thing, that it's good, 11,000, wow, that it's a big number. And actually, I had to travel to Uzbek to get this award in December. But then suddenly all of this happened, and So what I mean is when you prepare for the hackathon, dream bigger. Okay, not just think about the hackathon. If you're thinking about your idea, think about how you can bring this idea to life and how you can, expand it, scale it, and maybe make it your full-time job or full-time business. Okay, so what are the stages when you bring the something from the idea to the something tangible, application or some device and so on? Of course, you start with proof of concept. So first you have to, do the research, like you do the literature research. You have to find the evidence that your idea is something useful and something that needed in the market, that someone will use it. Okay. Next stage will be the prototyping. So you build a very simple user interface, UI, and show how it works. Okay, it shouldn't be functional, but at least you can show what are you going to produce. If it's application, there are a lot of prototyping tools where you can actually create the application interface. It will not be functional, but you can click the buttons, move from one page to another page, and so on. Fill it with the dummy data and so on. And the next is the MVP. So MVP is a minimum viable product. So this is a basic and functional first version of your product that can be used by the users. So this is the important part. This is the difference between prototype and MVP. Prototype only for the testing and for yourself, and MVP is for the users, so they can test your product. And this product, it doesn't have to be the real users, maybe just your friends, your colleagues, the other students, you can share with them, but you need the real feedback. Okay, so usually during the hackathon, it's not very good if you just come with idea. Yeah, some hackathons, during the hackathon, they give you some time. You come with your idea, but by the end of the hackathon, for example, the challenge that we participated, it was 3 days. During the 3 days, you have to bring something, at least the prototype level, okay, not just the idea. So you come to hackathon with idea, but during these 3 days, you have to build something very simple, prototype, or at least, as I said, the wireframing and so on. So the prototype is an early sample, model, or release of product built to test a concept or process. And the MVP is something tangible. So you have the minimum, so which means that you must have some very basic functions. Viable, so it means that it should be, the user can be able to use it, and it should be something tangible. It should be a product. It should be the application or mobile app, web app, or some hardware and so on. Okay. And the difference between the hackathon versus your product pitch. So if you're doing, for example, participating for the hackathon, the Dr. Sakinah already highlight the things that you show during the presentation, right? When you do the same product, but for the investors, now there are some extra steps that you have to add, right? So in hackathon, you show your idea, you show the problem, maybe you show some solution, you show your team, and so on. But when you pitch the product itself, now you have to show the market, you have to show some revenue model, business model, how you're gonna earn money from this product. And the important thing is you have to show some traction. So which means that you have to have this product in the market at least for a couple of months. So in an MVP form, so you have some growth. You have to show some growth that people are using your product. Maybe at the beginning you had only 1 user, and maybe in 2 months you have 100 users. So this is a very good traction and so on. So you must show the traction, you must show the competition, who are your competition and what are they doing, what's your product different from them, and so on. So these are the very important steps. The team is very important, so you must show that your team has all the important components, someone from the IT, someone, let's say, from the business, someone from the marketing, design, and so on, depending on your project. And of course, you have to show where you're going to spend the money if you win this kind of the competition or the investment and so on. So there must be the very clear business plan. So how are you going to spend the money, and what will be the outcome from these spendings? So the main topic today will be how to build your product. As I said, the focus here is with zero experience, without coding. Okay. Maybe you don't know about this, or maybe some of you know. Nowadays, a lot of the low-code or no-code platforms. So these are we call it Lcnc. So the low code, no code is a software development approach that requires the no coding experience. So you can build the product without any coding experience. Okay. Usually these kind of the platforms, they use the just visual interface and the drag and drop features. So you just have all the elements that you need to build your app, and then you just drag and drop them. And of course you need to have some logic behind it, but this logic is programmed using the visual interface, using the blocks, not the coding language. Okay, and because of this visual interface and the drag and drop features, you don't need the formal knowledge of coding. Okay, so this is very interesting. You can create any apps of any difficulty. This is the most important part of this low code or no code solutions. And Forbes, they expect that by right now, almost 60% of the apps on the market are created using the low code or no code solutions. This was surprising to me. And by the 2025, the 70% of the products will be created using the no code solutions. Okay, low code or no code solutions. So what are the benefits of the low code or no code? Easy to learn. So you don't need any programming background. You don't have to learn the programming language. You don't have to learn the syntax and so on. You just learn the particular platform, how to use it. Okay, so you just go to this platform. Usually they provide the free tutorials. You just learn how to create the app. And as you can see, it's visual modeling. So you just drag and drop whatever components you need for your app. You just drag, drop, and connect with other tools. And it has out-of-box functionality. So all of these, the items that you can see on the screen, they're already programmed. So you don't have to create them again. Okay, whatever you need, it's there. Drag and drop interface, reusability. So you can reuse the same app again and again. So let's say if you want to, for example, I don't know, create another app from from your previous app, it's also possible. The cross-platform accessibility. So this kind of the no-code platforms, for example, the one that we use called the Thinkable, you just use the same interface and it will give you the iOS and Android app at the same time. So you just use this interface, but at the output you will get the iOS app that you can put in the iOS, the Play Store, and the Google app that you can put in the Play Store and so on. Security is there, so they handle this part, so you don't have to worry about it. Scalability, you can scale these applications. They have the very good monitoring dashboard at the back, so you can see the interaction, user interaction, how they're using your app, what are they doing, and so on. And most importantly, you can mix and match. What that means is, for your idea, you don't have to use only one no-code platform. You can mix and match. For example, for your app, you can use the one thing. For your backend solution, for your servers and so on, you can use a totally different no-code platform. Somewhere you can do the coding part, it's okay. Maybe for your web application, you use the third platform and so on. So you can mix and match. You don't have to use only one single low-code platform. What you can create with the low-code or no-code platforms, virtually anything. There's no limit. So mobile apps, web apps, e-commerce, IoT, hardware, data analytics, artificial intelligence, chatbots, dashboards, and so on. Whatever is you can create using the coding, you can create with no coding. Okay, these are some of the interfaces. So this is how it looks like. For example, you just drag and drop, connect the different elements, and you see the input, see the output, and so on. This one is an app called the Blink that we use a lot for the IoT project. So this Blink, you can actually connect with the hardware and connect with the different sensors and control the sensor or receive the data from sensor and so on. As you can see, there is no programming again. This is another app to create the mobile apps. This is the interface. So you just have the different elements, drag, drop, and put the logic behind. This is how the actual coding part looks like. As I said, it is visual coding. This is an app called the Thinkable. So you just, if you know the Scratch, you can easily use this Thinkable app as well. So this is another app to create the chatbots. So if you need some chatbot for your project, you can easily create again using the just drag and drop elements. Okay, so what we actually create using this low code or no code solutions for the past few years, we have been using this. This is a wireless thermometer companion app. that's actually been used in USIM at the beginning of the pandemic. So at the beginning of the pandemic, we have to scan all lecturers coming to university, scan their temperature and store in a database that was connected to the medical department of the USIM. So we actually created this app. It has two parts. We have the hardware part. So this hardware, this is prototype. On the top, it has a temperature scanner, and this is mobile app. And this mobile app was created using without any coding on this platform called the Thunkable. So the Thunkable is a very good platform. And the good thing is you can create the apps of any complexity. So for example, in this one, we had the GPS inside the app. We have the Bluetooth connection because the phone have to connect to device through the Bluetooth. So we have the Bluetooth connection inside. All of this without any coding. Okay, and we have the scanner. So this scanner was for the scanning your ID. So whenever you have the student ID or staff ID, we can just scan using the smartphone. So all of this was already implemented inside this no-code platform. So we just created the app using the Thunkable. This is another project. This was a garden monitoring system. So this is we put in outside, and it has some sensors connected to the ground. So we have this is a rain sensor. We have some earth humidity sensor and so on. And for this one, we use the Blink to see the data, and another one called the ThinkSpeak. This is for the cloud solution. So all the data was uploaded to the cloud. Again, for this one, we didn't need any coding. Okay. This is a project that was created for the NIOSH. So this is called the Intelligent Malaysia Occupational Safety Security Drone. So this was a drone monitoring the construction area and see first of all, the identified objects, and second, to see the main idea was to see if the construction workers, they're wearing the proper security helmets and the vest and so on. So this was the main idea. For this one, for initial part, for the machine learning part, we actually use the Teachable Machine. So this is by the Google, so very good platform. So later I will demo this. This is my personal project. So this is I teach the coding online. This was my side project, just as a hobby. And this one has everything. We have the video lectures, and we have some text and the coding and so on. Even inside we have the place where you can run your code. All of this was created using the Gitbook. Okay, something platform called the Gitbook. This is actually our platform that we get the investment for. So this is the LMS platform where we teach the coding. And this platform was created using the WordPress and the plugin called the Tutor LMS. So when we raised the investment, even up to now, we still use the same WordPress platform. And people get surprised, when we say that, yeah, we didn't spend any money on this, before we get the initial investment, we didn't spend anything on the development part. We just created the WordPress site, used this plugin. So this plugin transforms your website to this kind of the LMS platform where you can host the videos, quizzes, and so on. Okay, and you can manage the students, you can manage the payments. And all of this was done without any coding, so which means there is zero investment in a development part. This is the example of the Telegram chatbot. Okay, so widely used in Uzbek. The Telegram is very famous. So this is a Telegram messenger. Inside the Telegram messenger, for example, this is a chatbot for finding the job. Okay, so for the HR. So you can apply for the jobs, you can get the responses, and this is the background, how it looks like at the dashboard. So these are, for example, the applicants, and then you can test them, test 1, test 2, and then interview and so on. So this is how it looks like at the back. And all of this is created again without any coding. So if you need, for example, the chatbot, let's say for your organization, you want to hire someone, you need the HR, then you can use the Telegram and you just create this kind of the Telegram bot without any coding. And same, you can create actually the online shopping inside the Telegram without any coding. Okay, so this is also using this platform. These are some of the platforms existing nowadays. So I just give some example, but you can Google nowadays. If you Google, you will see hundreds or even thousands of different platforms. These are for the AI and the machine learning. So these are the famous ones. These are for the web and mobile programming. So if you want to do the web and mobile programming, you can use any of these apps. These are for the IoT that we use, that I mentioned, the Blink, the ThinkSpeak, Tuya is very good. And none of this required, again, any coding. So you just connect the blocks together and you get your data. And the landscape is very huge. There are like hundreds of the different platforms that you can use for your project. Just before I finish, I want to do some demo. 1 second. You can still see my screen, right? Okay, so this is something called the teachable machine. So let me open the teachable machine. So this teachable machine by Google. 1 second. Okay, so using the teachable machine, you can actually create the 3 different AI projects. So 1 second. The image project, audio project, or the post project. So post project, it will detect your post. So I see that, for example, the last time during the hackathon, I saw that some students, they created using this post project, they created a app that will detect if you're falling asleep while you're driving. Because when you're driving, your post should be, straightforward. But once you go sleep, your head goes down. So they use this post project to detect your pose, actually, to detect your head movement, and to alert the driver that he is falling asleep. You can use the audio project and so on. What I mean is all of this is very easy, so you don't need any coding. So for example, for image project, you just open the standard image. This is image classification. So it can actually, using the camera, you can detect the different objects and so on. And it's very straightforward. So you clear, for example, I will give the one example to detect if someone is wearing the mask or not. Okay, so this is a mask, and this one let's call the no mask. Okay, and you can just upload the photos. So for example, let's say for the mask, of course you have to prepare the photo right beforehand. So I already did that here. So this is without mask. Let's see, for example, with mask. Okay, so these are the data that I prepare already. You just select some data, open, and you just upload this to the computer. Okay, and then the no mask. So for the no mask, you can use even the webcam. So I just click the webcam, for example. Yeah, this is my webcam. So I can look at the webcam, hold the record. So I'm not wearing a mask. Good, enough data. Or you can also add the data. You can upload. Let's say we'll go back with mask. Or this one is without. Sorry, without mask. So let's upload some photos. Okay. So then all you have to do is just click the train model. Okay, so it will take some time. It's training, depending on your computer, and it's done. So if you see, this is my photo, and my camera is running, and it says no mask here at the bottom. I don't have mask here. Let's try something. If I try maybe this way to the camera, you see it says maybe the mask, but this is not enough for a mask. It's not counting as a mask, but you got the idea. So you can use this tool, very simple tool, to create this kind of apps. You can add more classes if you want, for example. And the good idea, for example, I saw some idea, they use the X-ray dataset to detect the cancer. So there's this one, for example, the COVID image data collection for the X-ray, chest X-ray. So you can use this data, these pictures, to create the model. So this is your model without any programming, and you can actually share this. Or you can do the coding as well. So if you want, for example, you can do the coding, no problem. They give you the code in a Python, or this one is a JavaScript. So if you know the JavaScript and the coding part, as you can see, very short. You just copy this inside your project and you can use it. Okay. So again, this is example of the mix and match. So maybe you create the model using this one, but you can also just share. Where is the share button? You can just copy the link, and anyone who get access, they can just open this page and they can see the result. Okay, so this is one example. There are a lot of other tools, as I mentioned. The one that we use is called the Thunkable. The Thunkable is actually I can show you our project that we created using the Thunkable. Do I still have time? 5 minutes, huh? So let me log in. So this is the app that we created, as I told before, the Saringan. Okay, so you just click, and the inside you can see the tools, different tools, the buttons, logos, and so on. You just drag and drop, and for the coding you just use the blocks here. Okay, so just simple blocks, copy, paste, and you can run the certain projects. And the interesting part is that this Saringan, once you finish your app, you can actually you can test it, or you can export it in a Android or the iOS format. Okay, so very good, very easy to use. So before we actually finish, I want to give some few notes on your presentation. When you do the presentation, I read the competition rules. You have to prepare the one poster, and year after year I see the very bad posters during the FYP, not during the hackathons, but during the FYP I see very bad posters. I just show you some bad examples. Okay, don't overcrowd your poster with pictures and text and so on. Never do this. Okay, so nobody wants to read this. Okay, one more thing is this year, if I'm not mistaken, it will be online, right? So the hackathon will be online. So don't prepare this portrait mode poster. Okay, because when you present the portrait mode, what will happen is you will have a lot of empty space on the sides. Okay. Prepare the landscape mode poster for this year. So for the hackathon, because last year the FYP students, they prepared this. I don't know if it's a requirement by the university. I hope it's not. There is no such requirement by the hackathon. So make sure your poster is in a landscape mode and make it simple. So I will show you some of my posters that I win some medals. So this one is called Informer on Site. But this wasn't online, this was offline, so we have to print this poster. As you can see, it's very few information, that's it. Okay, just key points. Okay, so make it very clean. Don't make it overcrowded. This is another our example. So this one is for the Perchipta, I think that 2017 or something. Again, to make it very clean. Okay, don't overcrowd your presentation with a lot of text and information. No, just make it clear and do the talking. So you will be the presenter. So don't read from your poster. Okay, thank you everyone, and that's it from me. If you have any questions, I'm open to questions now.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Anwar Nazrele, for sharing with us. All right, everyone. Now let's continue with the Q&A session. If participants have any questions to ask, participants can type the question in Padlet. Links are provided in the chat box. For those who want to turn on the microphone, please do raise the hand emoji first, and I will call out your name. So we actually have a few questions for our panelists today. So the first one actually is for Dr. Sakinah. All right. The question is, for the presentation, is every member need to speak up, or is it just all right for one person per group?
Okay, for pitching normally we use one person only because we need to limit the time. If you want to keep on changing the presenter, it will take time. Only one person, the same person. But for the Q&A, anybody from the group can answer it.
All right, thank you, Dr. Sakinah. This is the next question is for Dr. Anwar. The question is, can we prepare a short video, for example, like a 1-minute video of the prototype or the product that we created for further explanation?
Usually I recommend this for FYP, but for the hackathon and others, yes, of course, if you cannot do the real life demo, you have to prepare the video. This is important. But keep in mind that you will have the very short time. The Dr. Sakinah mentioned the maximum they give you 3 minutes, and this is actually true for any, even for as I said, when I pitched this in front of the investors, they give me only 3 minutes. For the whole project, you have only 3 minutes. And one more thing I noticed, in other competitions and hackathons, I joined as a judge. when you present, 3 minutes is not enough. But when you're listening, 3 minutes is too long. You know, they say, wow, why he's speaking too long? Maybe 1 minute is enough, you think, you know, as a judge. But when you're presenting, the 3 minutes is not enough. So one more, I recommend what you have to do is what I did actually. I write down all of my text inside the presentation as a note. You know, I just read from there. Otherwise, there is no time. You know, if because when you speak, you think, you know, that you choose the words and so on. It takes time. But when you present, every second is valuable. So make sure you have all the things that you want to say written down in front of you, so you can just, you know, read out.
But if I can add on, for this competition, we give more lenient time. We give you another extra 2 minutes, maximum is 5 minutes. But if you can finish earlier than 5 minutes, will be much more appreciated.
All right. Okay. Thank you to both Dr. Sakinah and Dr. Anwar. Okay. Another question is for Dr. Sakinah. Which platform should we look into or join for a beginner who wants to join a hackathon?
Soalan untuk siapa?
This one is for Dr. Sakinah.
Oh, sorry. Listening. Sorry for that. Okay. For a beginner, I think there is no such thing hackathon for a beginner. For a beginner, this USIM platform, Aturkreatif, is actually for the beginner. That's why we prepared hackathon, we prepared CTF for ISA students especially. But for hackathon, not only for ISA, it could open to any field, okay, any university. So I think, so let's try the USIM first. If you manage to get some idea, you will know how to survive later on for the advanced competition. Because in reality, when they organize this competition, they won't do for a beginner. Okay, they want a real solution. They have no time for the beginner one. So if you intend to try on the beginner part, please join the Aturkreatif. Okay, you will get some idea when you listen to your friend's solution as well, and it's good for your FYP later on. Okay, please participate, please join.
All right, thank you, Dr. Sakinah. The next questions are for Dr. Anwar. Hello, Doctor. Is it possible to develop a project without any budget at all? And if yes, usually if you are given a budget from the investors, what is the investment for?
Okay, so yes, you can create a project without any budget, but not without any budget. You know, there should be something from your side, at least your time. Consider your time as a money, right? So, and then you have the team members, at least a few team members, who will, you know, have expertise in different areas. Otherwise, it will all cost you money. So, for example, the software development, you need someone from the software development in your team so he can create the app, for example, for free. Otherwise, it will cost you money. Same with design, for example, you need the product design. You can pay for it, or you can ask someone to join your team. So usually, this is how you can save the money at the beginning, initial stage. So you create the team members that can, you know, chip in for this joint product. The second part of the question is budget from the investors. Just keep in mind that this budget is not given to you. You're asking for it. So when you ask, you have to know why are you asking this, for what. Okay, so this is the point. I mean, the investment is not just for the sake of investment. No, there should be the very clear plan. For example, the issue could be you have a project, but you cannot scale it without money. Because just for example, in our project, the main expense is for the marketing. You know, the biggest expense is marketing. You have to market your product. So you may have the product intact. You have with zero budget, you created the product, but no one is using it. Why? Because you didn't market it. So you have to spend a lot of money for the marketing purpose, ads, commercials, and so on. So the investment money is given for what you ask for. So if you ask for the marketing, they will give you for marketing. If you ask for development, they will give you for development.
All right, that's it. Thank you. We do have another question, also for you, Dr. Anwar. I have a question. For the project, do we have to take into account the maintenance budget or just to create the project? Thank you.
Yes, you have to maintain the project at least for the 3-4 months. Why? Because you have to show the traction, as I said. So when you present it to the investors, you must show that your project is growing. So for the, let's say for 5-6 months, it's growing. So which means that you have to maintain the project for this period. Again, the maintenance could be done by yourself or by your team members. So this is how you save the money.
All right, Doctor. Thank you. Another one is for you also, Dr. Anwar. How does development work on Lcnc platforms? Is there any testing environment to deploy applications to production?
Yes. Throughout the development, they have something called the live mode. So the live mode is you install the companion app. So for example, this online platform like Thunkable, they have the mobile app. So install the mobile app. So you can preview your deploy or your development on your smartphone. So you open your web application, you keep building your app, but at the same time, you can open your smartphone and see the progress. Yeah, so before publishing your app, before sending it to the production, you can just see how it looks on your mobile phone, or you can test it.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Anwar. Is there any other questions from the participants itself? We are also, this is a Q&A session. Is there any questions that the participants would like to ask Dr. Sakinah or Dr. Anwar or related to the competition next month? You can use this session to ask them questions. Okay, so we have another question here for both panels. Can the UI or UX concept be different from the MVP?
Yeah, of course it can be different because your project does not, but you have to justify whenever you change something. You have to justify why you did these changes.
There is another question. This is for Dr. Sakinah. What is meant by Nakli and Akli? Because this concept is quite foreign for us, it said.
Okay, if you are USIM students, I believe that you understand what is Nakli and Akli. So it represents Inak. You know that Akli is akal, the conventional knowledge, while Nakli is the Quran verse or the hadith or the Islamic value knowledge. Okay, sometimes when you create something, you try to relate benefits to the Quran or hadith. And for examples, I give you examples on the bee itself. You know that we eat the what we call the honey bee madu lebah kan? Okay, we know all the scientific values, but sometimes we couldn't relate with the Quran base. even though it has been mentioned clearly what is the benefits. So the scientific is actually try to dig again on the Nakli part, and we try to convince that the Nakli is actually correct when we the scientists try to produce some things. Okay, there are lots actually. If you don't have it, but if your idea is very novelty, then it's okay. Don't worry too much about the INAC. Okay, but it's just a value added because we are the USIM students and we also the Muslim. I think it's a very good what we could say is a very good uniqueness, because I have won several products when I bring my students products. When they come up with the idea, I add on the INAC part, and that is the things, the value added that the jury always attracted. Okay, because we have produced a lot of proposed solutions, and sometimes our solution is quite be similar to other people's. So we have to find the uniqueness. Okay, always find the uniqueness about your item. Okay, the proposed solutions. So how that I can relate, I'm not so sure what is actually based on the teams, but if you think more with your team members and discuss, and I think you will get some idea later on what is about the INAC part. Okay, I hope I answered that question.
All right. Thank you both Dr. Anwar and Dr. Sakinah for the Q&A session. So I would repeat this again for the participants. If you would like to ask any questions to our panels, you can please do so in this session, either by submitting your questions to the Padlet, with which we have provided the links in the chat box, or you can simply raise your hands, raise the hand emoji, if you would like to ask any questions. We have a few minutes for our Q&A session. If there is no other questions from the participants, we would proceed to the next slide.
Are we waiting for something?
All right, I'm just giving the participants a little bit more time. So it appears like there are no more questions for our Q&A session. So we would move on to our next slide. Again, thank you, Dr. Sakinah and Dr. Anwar Nazrele, for the answers given. I hope this program is beneficial to all participants. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we end our program for today, let us take some photos as a memory for our participants. Please turn on your camera and set your wallpaper to the background given in the Teams chat. We are going to snap the pictures in about 2 or 3 minutes. So for the girls, you can start preparing yourself, wear your hijab. If you're Muslim here, you can start wearing your hijab. Come on, let's just join our photo shoot session. Take one picture for the memory.
Looks like you are finishing early 30 minutes. We are also doing the hackathon workshop. We are rushing the time as well. Follow the time, okay? Right. Expecting more students to open the camera. So the external user, can you turn on the camera? I'm not so sure if the guest can open the camera. So we have like Brenda, we have Genevieve, we have Umar from OUM, from UMS. We also have Ahmad Nasrim Akmal. So if you can turn on the camera, it'd be nice. Thank you for joining us. So while waiting for the others, I also want to promote for tomorrow's workshop on the CTF, Capture the Flag. So Capture the Flag is more technical part competitions on the security. So if you don't have any idea, please participate it. Okay, your senior is actually also get some idea when they start to join the workshop. CTF is very difficult. You cannot go through if you didn't go the beginner class from here. They don't go for the CTF security competition outside. So that's why we open it for the USIM students only for the CTF. Please join. It's a bit technical, but will be useful if you are going to further your career later on the security. Okay. Zikrul Hakim, you tahun berapa?
Saya first year ISA, Doktor.
First year. Oh, I'm teaching you. Jarang
Yes.
buka kamera, tak nampak. Sejak pandemik semua rambut panjang-panjang seorang
Semalam lagi panjang, Doktor. Esok saya
Semalam
botak.
lagi panjang.
Esok saya botak.
Esok botak. Okay. Nazar ke apa botak esok?
Dah lama simpan, Doktor. 2 tahun. Setahun lebih.
Okay, any more we are waiting for?
All right. For other participants, would you like to join our photo shoot session? You may do so. Turn on your cameras. Don't be shy.
Okay, sebelah Zikra siapa? Ajak sekali. Dekat KK ke? KK1?
I'm conducting Kahoot tadi.
KK1 ke korang?
KK1.
Tunjuk muka lah.
Block B.
Tak payahlah cakap blog. Siap promote.
All right. So I'm assuming there are no other participants joining the photo shoot session. Sorry. Okay. So smile for the camera, guys. 1, 2, 3. Okay. One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, like freestyle. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you so much for your cooperation for this slot. It is highly appreciated. All right, so thank you for your cooperation, everyone. So before we end, we would be honored to have you join the Hackathon competition that will be held on 12th of June 2022. E-certificates will be provided, and along with a lot of prizes will be given for the competition. So if you missed out or could not attend our program for today, the link will be provided in the WhatsApp group. for viewing after this session. So hopefully the program can provide you with a lot of helpful insights whenever you decided to join the competition that will be held on the 12th of June. Thank you again for your attendance, and we hope that this program can give a positive impact on everyone involved directly or indirectly. We hope the best for you and success in your future. And finally, let us end our program with Tasbih Kafara and Suratul As. Thank you, everyone, and we hope to see you again.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Anwar, and also Dr. Arif, and also Shafira, and also the committee. Good job. Thank you, participants. See you again tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Doctor.
Bye. Selamat Raya.
Thank you, all doctors.
Jangan lupa berpuasa 6 kalau sempat.
Alhamdulillah habis.
Tahniah habis. Saya on the way.
Bye. Bye.